afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Thanks for joining us. This is another edition of Thinkific Live. We're going live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and I think a couple of our Facebook pages and groups. So Adam, Todd, how are you guys doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, everyone.
Good. Well, we've got a special guest here. So we've got Todd. Todd, why don't you say a little bit of introduction, who you are, what you do, where are you at today?
Sure. So my name's Todd Eby. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SuccessHACKER, and I'm in scenic, sunny, really windy Oakland, which is just sort of interesting because everybody else around us is about power, thanks to the PGE apocalypse that's going on here. But super happy to be here and have power and be able to join everyone today. Looking forward to chatting with everybody about creating courses for customer success.
Awesome. And Adam, what are we going to be covering today? Just so we have a bit of an agenda for everyone tuning in.
Well, firstly, if you don't know me, my name's Adam. I'm the VP of Sales over here at Thinkific. So I kind of oversee like Thinkific Plus and the whole sales team and that type of stuff. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be learning a little bit about SuccessHACKER and success coaching. They're, of course, a Thinkific customer. We're going to be learning a little bit about their story, where Todd's come from, how he's built out such an awesome company. Then we're going to be going a little bit into to hear Todd's perspective in terms of how education fits into an overall customer success strategy, how he's seen education most effectively utilized in that area. Then we will be getting into some different tips and tricks from Todd, who's actually been creating courses for a while now, and I can probably tell you all the mistakes that he's made that you don't need to.
No mistakes.
Right? Perfect. It was perfect first time.
Flawless execution.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, let's fire away. And everyone that's joining us live, feel free to ask your questions in the comments. That's really a really big part of why we do this as well. It's just we want to make sure that, if you have any questions, if you're looking to get started with online courses, that we help you kind of get over some of those hurdles. And that's what we're here for. And especially with somebody like Todd, who's done a lot of courses now, been doing a lot of courses and teaching them as well. Then it's a good place. It's a great time to ask all of your questions. So I invite you all to just drop them in the comments. I'll watch the comments while the two gentlemen here deliver as much value as they can today. So Adam, take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, to get us started, how about just give us a little bit of background, what is SuccessHACKER? What is success coaching? And yeah, where does it all come from and how did it come about?
Sure. So SuccessHACKER really came out of the realization that, several years ago, customer success as an industry and as a practice was fairly nascent. It was a new concept for a lot of companies, and it was something that a lot of folks were struggling with. The advent of the subscription economy has really made it a critical part of your business. If you have a SaaS offering, it's really hard to succeed without investing in customer success, unless it's a high velocity, primarily straight to the customer type of an offering. And even then, there are flavors of customer success that you have to embrace around in-app messaging and education, particularly the education piece, because you're not reaching out and talking with your customers directly. So, what we realized early on was that the background that we had and the experience, was not something that was really out there in any format that was easily consumable by the folks that were entering into the practice and embracing it. And so, we founded originally the SuccessHACKER community called Outcomes, and that was sort of our first foray into trying to bring education to the mainstream. But we rapidly realized that, it's really hard to engage with folks through a community and teach them the things that they needed to know. And so we embarked upon launching the full SuccessHACKER advisory firm. And, that was a really interesting evolution for us. We have always been educators, and we've always done, builds of programs and teams. And so our first foray into sort of helping was as an advisory firm and as consultants. And what we came to realize was that education was really the new consulting. It was more important to teach people to fish than it was to build a beautiful set of playbooks for them. Because ultimately, we walked away realizing that a lot of the folks, they were really happy with what we built, but they didn't have the necessary experience to actualize it and put it into practice. And so that really was the impetus for the creation of Success Coaching. And Success Coaching is really focused on taking the entire methodology that we've created to power a high-performing customer success organization and team, and we put it down into a series of courses to really help folks to embrace and understand the concepts and to be able to actualize them. So, one of the biggest things that we felt was a challenge when it came to a customer success course was, how do you make it actionable? How do you take it from just being another digital course that you consume and then you forget? And so, our evolution into actually providing a digital version of it was very measured and considered. We started out delivering in-person instructor-led workshops, and that's how we really refined what we were teaching. And then we evolved that into what you see now in terms of success coaching and the courses that are there. So, I think when it comes to building courses, it's super easy to put together a course. It's harder to make it really effective for the learners and to put it into a format where they can consume, internalize, and then actualize the information.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that all the time at Thinkific. That's, there's a lot of great courses out there, a lot of great ideas, but really having that impact on your students and really growing that student community can be the challenge. So who's your audience then? Are you working with customer success managers, people who want to get into customer success? Tell me a bit about that.
So we really have two focuses. So our focus on the individual side is offering courses directly to customer success managers and aspiring customer success managers so that they can come in, either up-level their skills or begin to learn what they need to know to capture the opportunity that's present for customer success manager roles as a whole in the US and worldwide. I mean, one of the interesting things here is that there's approximately like 62,000 folks on LinkedIn that have the title or role of customer success manager. But on average, it ticks up just about every minute. There's about 21,000 open positions in the US alone. So simple numbers dictates that there's a tremendous gap in terms of the number of skilled and available resources versus the open job postings. And so what we're really focused on with the direct to individual aspect of our business is educating the folks that want to transition into or start a career in customer success and basically getting them certified and educated in the practices so that they have the baseline skills to be able to land a role in the job and then thrive in it. And it's the same stuff that we teach at USF in the CS MBA program. The goal there, it's a career accelerator program, so it's very focused on training the MBA students on what they need to know and the practices that they need to internalize to be able to come out of school and land their first job and then really thrive in it. So it's the same course material, the same curriculum, everything that we do is being taught at that academic level, which it's really amazing to see some of the success stories coming out of the MBA program, but also directly out of the course. And so that's one of the things that's really like a focus for us, is being a career resource and a career building resource. So that's on the individual side. Then on the team side, we work with a lot of large companies to train their entire team. HP is one of the ones that we've been working with recently. with a lot of success. And it's really interesting to see how we can bring entire teams through the course, get them educated, but also get their team leaders educated. So one of the things that's really different about what we do is, always when you're delivering training, particularly to an enterprise, the first question that they have is, well, what's the ROI on this? And a lot of folks can't give you an answer because it's kind of the old, it depends. Well, what we rapidly realized as we were teaching is that without implementing the practices that we've taught you, your ROI is much lower because it's dependent upon the individuals within the team that have been educated to actualize the material that they've learned. And so what we created was a set of management implementation guides that ran them through how to have conversations with their team around the various topics in the certification courses, how to talk about how you're going to internalize and put into place within your own organization the practices that were taught. And then we also kind of go through some simple scenarios on where you could implement it, how you could implement it, and then the leading and lagging indicators that would demonstrate that you're getting ROI from it. And so, the two aspects of the business for us are super interesting. They're very different, but they share a lot of the same characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's really interesting about what you're doing, I think, because we obviously work with a lot of SaaS companies as well, and customer success definitely means different things to different people. And I think that kind of being such a new role almost in a kind of overall ecosystem of SaaS and business as a whole, there's never really been this kind of one definition of what success is. And I think that's what I really like about your program. It's like, it really breaks that down for somebody who's looking to get into it. So on the one hand, from the bottom up, you're really kind of elevating customer success as a role, educating people and really bringing them up to a level which everybody should be at and everybody needs to be at. And then on the other side, you're actually working with bigger organizations to take the same premises and some of those ideas and actually apply them at a higher scale. And so, yeah, it's really interesting, the kind of the top down and the bottom up approach that you're taking, and it's super cool. So I know you've been working with Thinkific for a couple of years now. Tell me a bit more about how Thinkific kind of fits into your overall business.
Sure. So when we were making the transition from doing the instructor-led workshops, we do like 20 of those a year, and it's kind of crazy. We realized that we couldn't scale, we couldn't meet the need without putting our courses online. And so we embarked upon a vendor selection project. And this is not the first time that I've done this. And so, you kind of become jaded because there are so many different learning management and content management systems out on the market right now. And we narrowed it down to a few choices, but why Thinkific stood out for us was, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. We didn't want to become educators and technology providers. We didn't want to do that because it would be too big of a distraction. So we really looked for a platform that would give us the really robust experience that we were looking for on the back end as we sought to create courses and lay them out, and then to work with partners to bring partner material onto the platform. And what really kind of sold us was that our vision was to have a rock solid infrastructure and to be able to customize it to our needs based on the APIs. What we wanted to do was to not be sort of bound to having course creation be inside of something like a Captivate, where we had to then wrap it into a Scorum wrapper, all of the stuff that becomes really, really cumbersome when you're delivering a course. And I think I should point out, like, our key thing for us is we deliver weekly updates to our courses. Customer success is always evolving and it's always changing, and the needs of the learners have to be addressed on a regular basis. And so we were looking for a solution that really enabled us to do that and to make those small changes on a really, rapid cadence, at a really rapid cadence. And so when it came down to it, really Thinkific was the best choice for us when it came to the infrastructure. Now, our instance is, well, our instances are on Plus. And so the difference for us was that we were able to really scale to whatever level we needed to do. We knew that we were going to have the uptime, and then we had access to the APIs. And so what we did is create a completely custom learner experience on top of the Thinkific platform and the infrastructure. And then we built out things like our own data warehouse, because we're looking at learners at a level where we're trying to benchmark how fast folks learn, what their comprehension rates look like, and always looking for clues around how we can improve the material. And we had some very specific needs there. And so, for us, it was a pretty clear choice because we got all the things that we needed, and we didn't have a lot of the challenging baggage that we saw with the other providers, where we were limited to how our learner experience was going to look and how often we could change things. So, it was a really easy decision for us to go with Thinkific.
Yeah, no, and it's great to hear. And, I think that's partly why we've seen a lot of the SaaS companies who are looking to use Thinkific for customer education now, like Hootsuite and some of the other bigger companies that we're working with. I think the points that you hit on there are key, right? It's the low barrier to entry. It's being able to go in, enter into a system that really anybody can build a course in very quickly, but then also have the open API and that kind of customization to be able to really do whatever take it in whichever direction you need to. The other piece that we've been seeing a lot of, and this is one thing I wanted to ask you about, was kind of meeting the customer where they are with education, right? So, there's a lot of really, I've been through so many software implementations. One huge software implementation recently I just went through, I won't name them, but massively long courses. I'm sitting they want me to sit there for 2 hours taking this course and then doing this certification. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this. I have a few questions that I need answering and maybe some education around that. And that's how we've been seeing Thinkific used more and more, kind of short, snappy courses, which are going to address a specific use case or a specific problem. Just want to understand a little bit, how do you see education working most effectively in customer success?
Well, so in customer success, you have two different use cases. So one is the internal education, and so that's educating your CSMs and the folks that support them in the best practices, but also in how you deliver customer success, because it's delivered in a unique fashion across almost every single company that we work with. And then you have the second element, which is educating your customer. And so there's some cases where the union of those two is amazing, and you can build your own customer university and then use it to educate your people as well. But what we're seeing in terms of the best practices is, it has to be accessible. It has to be available on whatever platform they want to look at it, whether it's looking at their phone on the way to the office in the morning, whether it's looking at an iPad while you're helping the kids to eat dinner, or straight at your desk and consuming it that way. And it's the same thing with customers. They want to be able to access the material wherever they are and in whatever fashion works for them. And so the material also has to support multiple modalities. So if you look at how people learn, there's a bunch of different models out there, but we really like the VARC model. And so, there's this visual, auditory, and then the reading. And so what we liked about Thinkific is it could support all the different modalities. So, we have the courses that you can come in, you can sit through there in bite-sized chunks, separate chapters and lessons, which works really well. But then also, we do some things around being able to embed things like our CSM mastermind within the course. So you can come in and you can watch a live group call and participate with other folks that are on that. And it's a totally different modality than just sitting down and going through a course. And so it's that flexibility that we find is really one of the critical things that you have to be able to deliver to learners, because everybody learns differently, and there's There's other things like being able to put closed captioning in to help folks that are hearing impaired or where English is not their first language. And all of those different things are really critical. And we basically have really strived to embrace all the different aspects with our courses. And the nice thing is the platform allows us to do that. So, it's in terms of best practices, it's like you said, meet them where they're at and be able to deliver it in different fashions so that they can consume it in the way that they want to.
Well, sorry, I think we got a bit of a delay there. Yeah.
In different fashions so that they can consume it in the way that they want to.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we see really kind of having that oh, we got I think we got a bit of a delay there.
The joys of being live.
Yeah. Okay. Are we back online here, or are we still seeing some delays?
Different fashions.
Oh, we're good. We're good. I think we're just a bit of a feedback here, but
I mean, we see really kind of having that. Oh, we got I think we got a bit of a delay there.
I think just mute yourself there. No, we're good. Todd, awesome. You want to share some tips before we kind of start wrapping up? Some tips for online course creators out there looking to build their first or maybe their next courses.
So it's really easy to build a course and to launch it. I think the main challenge is actually in getting folks to buy it. There's a lot of work that goes into creating a course, and I would encourage everybody that has a great idea to think about building a course and to lay it out and to really look at what value that course is going to deliver to your potential learners. But know that the key thing is you really have to hit on the value that you're going to deliver, so that when folks find it, it's just kind of a no-brainer for them to say, yeah, I want to take that. It's the launch is easy. So I guess my second part would be it's the follow through. The thing that we really strive to do is constantly be evolving what we're doing. And we see, a lot of different courses in the market that it's not a one and done. There's this constant evolution of the knowledge. And I think that all the creators have to embrace that when they go to create courses. And they need to understand that, part of the promise, particularly if you're not just selling a one-time purchase, is to deliver ongoing value and updates to the material so that folks are constantly being exposed to new ideas. And then I guess the last thing that I would say for creators is, really as you're laying out your courses and as you're structuring and you're launching them, consider the different ways that people want to consume the knowledge. It's not just about recording a bunch of short snippet videos and stringing them together. It's about taking the information and putting it in place in terms of exercises and work that the learners have to do so that they stay engaged and that they really learn from the course. I mean, one of the things that shocked me was, and I can't remember where the statistic was from, but only 2 to 5% of the people that pay for an online course actually complete it. And so if you think about that number, it's like staggering, particularly for a course creator. Like, what's your responsibility to the learner? It's to make sure that they come to your course, they learn, and that they don't go away with more questions than they came with. And so really focus on not just conveying the knowledge, but also being able to get it into sort of a framework and a set of exercises that they can embrace and work through and then use to put the knowledge that they've gained in place in their own day-to-day environment. And so, I think if you do those three things, you'll be in great shape. Obviously, the first one is the challenge, right? That's once you've launched your course, there's a lot that goes into making sure that there's awareness about it and that people are actually coming and embracing it. And then looking at sort of particularly what the success stories are coming out of it. That's one of the things. I just threw one up on LinkedIn today from one of our learners. Those are the things that are going to keep you motivated. And particularly if you're coming at it from the place of truly helping people, I think that's probably like the overarching theme when it comes to being a course creator, is you really have to be motivated by helping the folks to realize the outcome that you've designed the course around, and then having that be your source of motivation to keep doing it day in and day out. Because it's definitely a challenge. Course creators, I see it a lot where they just get demotivated because they're not getting a lot of traffic and a lot of folks looking at it. But those success stories, when you get those, find what really worked for that person and try and emphasize more and more of it.
Yeah, I think that's, we talk a lot about that. How do we make the biggest possible impact through education? How do we help the most people? And I think a really important point, and this is like the same in customer success as it is course creation, is when you help somebody, whether that is, an independent person taking your course or whether it's a huge other organization that's using your software, find out what it is that you're helping them with and why it really, really benefits them, and repeat, right? And find what that message is, find what the impact is that you're making, and make sure that you repeat that over and over and over for as many people as possible. And we see that all the time from our course creators, and we hear so many amazing stories every day of the impact that people are making through online education. Awesome. We got about 2 minutes left, so I just wanted to kind of, how would I engage with success coaching? Well, like if I wanted to get into customer success, how would I go about that?
Well, so there's been the website up for the entire conversation. The best place to engage with us is probably, first through there. We've really made it a big part of what we do to make the education accessible to everyone. So this year we launched Launch, which is our entry-level version of our customer success training. It's focused on our level 1 certification, which is sort of the foundational elements of customer success. And when you're starting out a career, it's a course that's designed to give you the knowledge and the practices that are going to get you ready to start your career. That said, we've also run, folks with 3-5+ years of experience through it, and they really dig the different things that we have in there around success planning and account management, relationship building. So there's a little bit of something in there for everyone, but what we wanted to do with Launch was remove the barrier to entry. So many customer success teams are challenged by a lack of budget, and individuals, they're in the same boat. They're paying for it out of their own pocket. And so we wanted to make it super accessible, not just in the US, but around the world. And so we created Launch as a vehicle for that. And so basically we've taken what was our $1,000 course and we've made it available for less than $100. And so that's probably one of the best ways to initially engage with getting yourself ready or skilling up if you're already a customer success manager. It includes our level 1 certification. It's available now in Brazilian Portuguese. We're working on making it even more accessible around the world. We have a few more languages coming out, and it's also captioned in English for hearing impaired. We're really big on inclusion and accessibility. We're trying to make this available to everyone. And so, that's a great way to engage with us. And we love to also help folks that are embarking upon the career for the first time. Obviously I spend a lot of time in the MBA program with folks that want to become customer success managers. We do the same thing through our community with folks that are aspiring to make a career change or to enter into the job market for the first time. And that's a great vehicle. Launch is like the name says, it's helped a lot of folks to launch their career. And that's really, success coaching is about being a resource for customer success professionals throughout their career. No matter where you're at, we want to have training for you so that you can upskill and thrive in your career.
Yeah, and now, I mean, I totally hear you. And now is the time for people to get into customer success. There's no doubt about it. It's growing industry, and I know from sitting in our leadership meetings and sitting in board meetings and everything like that, like the metrics that we're looking to move all the time are churn, customer adoption, and that comes from success. And it's just becoming more and more important as it should be. And it's organization wide. It's the other point I was going to make as well. We really at Thinkific, everybody's aware of what's going on from a customer success standpoint, because every single person's role affects the overall success of the organization. And so, yeah, I think we could chat about this all day, but I think what you guys are doing over there is awesome. So yeah, go check out Success Coaching. Go add Todd on LinkedIn. Follow him on social. If you have any questions at all about Success Coaching, SuccessHACKER, Thinkific Plus, feel free to shoot me a note as well. I'm more than happy to help. And yeah, great to see what you've been up to.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. We'll talk to you soon. And everybody on the live, thank you so much. And if you're watching this on the replay, leave your comments and questions, and we will be monitoring the comments there. See you all next time.